Hey folks, before we begin the video, do check out MasakoX.com with some brand new merch. Oh yeah, and you'll also get a personal shout out video with every order. Cheers! Hey folks, MasakoX here. Chapter 81 is out next week, and it's about time to start speculating as to what we could expect going into this next part of the battle between Granolah and Gas. We're probably a couple of chapters off of the ending of this saga, with the next one probably starting in May because Dragon Ball Super Superhero and all that, you want a good transition. And I thought I'd be curious to see what we can expect. If you'd like to see our more detailed reviews about these chapters, aside from the ones that we talk about on this channel when it comes out, the manga, do check out our second channel, Up on the Lookout, where Haverok and I go more in depth in terms of discussions in a podcast form. Check your favourite podcasting platform of choice as to where you'd like to listen. Also, I don't give out spoilers here. All of the guesses and conjecture I do here is based on stuff we already know from previous chapters, so I don't go looking into leaks and whatnot. I want people to think up their own things from their own imagination, so you can be safe here. The spoilers can't hurt you, my friends. Remember that. Before we get on with this month's predictions, let's take a look back at last month's predictions that we had for Chapter 80, to see how far or close we were to the mark in regards to accuracy and predicting. Remember, it doesn't really matter what our score is here, because being right isn't always the best thing. I'm pretty sure I can speak for all of you out there that we would like to see things that we wouldn't have expected, right? And yeah, to be fair, also things that are well explained, so there is a caveat. First off, we thought that we would find out what the condition that Elec had on Torombo as to granting the wish upon Gas for ultimate power. Well, sadly, that never happened. That particular piece of information still remains elusive to us. But at least Elec is now getting involved with his siblings and the procedure, not remaining miles behind the front line drinking wine and all of that, because he unlocked Gas's restraints. Well, I say unlock, he just ripped a headband off. He also talked about an errand, to which we thought that would also come up, haven't I? Again, we missed that one too. Elec turned up and acted as Gas's magical unblocker, and it led to his brother becoming an unstoppable brute like Broly from 1993. Only it's now 2022. Or more accurately if you want, Kale from Super, because Gas here does regain control of this power, thanks to him now being the strongest in the universe. And surely now he has the constitution to make that power work on his own. Next, we thought that Gas would be on the defensive. Well, that ended up being half true. He was having to be careful for a while at the beginning of the chapter, you know, before Elec came up with the whole headband grab plan, so I think half a point there is fair, yeah? The next point was Oil and Maki getting caught up in the fracas, and that did happen. They got somewhat injured when Gas rushed out of their way, and they were standing in that direction, foolishly, all before their Hulk bro beat himself out of his rage. Stop it! Then there was Vegeta helping out Granolah to some extent. Well, that didn't turn out quite how I expected. Vegeta did sort of draw Gas away from Granolah, but I don't think that was intentional, so half a point, I guess? In the end, 2 out of 5 was my score for this chapter. Not bad. I kind of feel let down that all of Elec's planning hasn't come to light yet, as I don't think it's that major a plot point to save for the ending of it all, and if it does end up being the big reveal, it would have to be a monumentally amazing bit of presentation for it to be worth it. And anyway, we gotta get going and pick which of last month's predictions I get to carry forward for this one. And that will be Vegeta will aid Granolah in the fight as a last resort. Yes, I know that I've said this before in many other videos on this matter, that I would hope that Goku and Vegeta stay out of this particular fight, but for this context and circumstance, I feel that it could work, him being involved, because the prince is being dragged into the battle, whether he likes it or not. It's a little more agreeable if Vegeta is choosing to aid his new friend when the bad guy is forcing you to take part in some way. But wait, how can he meaningfully aid Granolah now, when the powers are getting more and more ridiculous and out of the scope of the Saiyans? Well, there's always Ultra Ego to wheel out one more time, but this time, unchained. When going up against Granolah, Vegeta did use Ultra Ego, but he was holding back somewhat, due to his heart not being so much in it when it came to taking down the Cerulean after what he had learnt from history, all the whilst Goku was having his schnoz decked. He didn't want to kill Granolah, he just wanted to try and snap him out of his hysteria, make him see sense, that the Saiyans aren't all that bad in this particular situation, and to realise don't make the same mistake I did by chasing down revenge and power. When it comes to defending against Gas though, Ooh, Ultra Ego could have its chance to shine properly. Vegeta could fully give into his original and base desires for fighting and no longer care as to the outcome or Gas's safety. As far as he can tell right now, Gas is the enemy and a threat to civilization going forward. The Heeters would naturally use his power, despite not relying on pure power before now and mostly intel, sort of now going against their own mantra, to profit. Well, not if the Prince of Granolah have anything to say about it though. So, I think Ultra Ego will come out one more time. 2. Gas will start to either lose control of the power or question Elec's judgement. Already you could start to see that Gas was slowly beginning to feel a little less assured about his brother's plan. Even when he was in his original base form, Gas would have doubts about Elec's conduct and overall outlook on bringing Granolah down and securing success. Every time he would say this, Elec would dismiss his concerns and state that, oh, he wasn't being a team player or not seeing the bigger picture. Oh, come on, Gas. You don't want to let the team down now, do you? No. Good. Therefore, I think that would lead to Gas feeling insecure about his own state of mind. Every time he would question something, he'd get blocked or manipulated into thinking that, oh, it's all a bunch of nothing. Gaslighting, you could say. So now in this full power state, having now controlled his untapped rage, since being super strong does that for you, he would begin to feel on top of the world, like he is unstoppable. Having beaten down Granolah plenty in the upcoming chapters, he could go one of two ways. Let's get the one I'm worried about happening most out of the way. He will go berserk again, his control fleeting, and now completely written off. I hope that doesn't happen, since we've already seen that with Moro, and it was glorious. To see that again though in quick succession, in regards to rapid gains in strength, that would be cheap and repetitive. It wouldn't have the same impact. The moment of occurrence I would prefer is that Elec would keep bossing Gas around more and more, undermining his little brother, but then said brother realizing that, wait, I'm the strongest fighter in the world now. I don't need to bend to my brother's whim anymore. Gas understands that he is bigger and stronger than he used to be, and thusly, he can do what he wants. This sudden realization will lead to him either ignoring Elec's orders, or maybe him going after Elec and killing him in the process out of anger or frustration. Or at the very least, knock him out. If there's one thing that Gas can learn from this whole thing, is that he can believe in himself. Number 3. Monaito will give Granolah his remaining life energy to aid his recovery. This is something that I think has been built up toward really. Throughout the entire saga, it has been pointed out to us that Monaito, despite being a Dragon Clan Namekian, is not all that great when it comes to healing people. It takes him a long time to do so. He couldn't do it that well with Granolah's mother, he couldn't offer much with Goku, despite Goku being able to heal himself anyway, so this could lead to him proving his worth in another way. To himself, he is responsible for letting the Dragon Balls fall into the wrong or irresponsible hands, and the only way for him to atone from his incompetency, or to ensure that it doesn't happen again, is to sacrifice himself. With one last gasp, he would give to Granolah his final ripple, his remaining life energy, as a means to heal himself instantly, or get at least a fair ways to his normal levels. But it might be enough to stop Gas. As a result, Monaito would be left dying and on the cusp of passing away. By doing that, it would be a feather in the cap for that particular plot thread, and finally being able to provide some use for everybody present. It would be his final act, and a means to ensure that these horrifically powerful Dragon Balls can never be used again. So for those out there thinking that, oh, these orbs are horribly broken, that's terrible writing, you can rest assured there. They are self-contained balls. Number 4. More Bardock flashbacks. They've worked before, so it'll get buzz and hype once more if we do it again. Let's bring out Bardock once more to illustrate more about what happened 40 years ago with Gas, and how they wound up fighting each other in the first place. And also, attention. In last month's chapter, we had Bardock showing off his final spirit cannon toward Gas, that being alluded to as the thing that brought Gas down in that battle. I feel like we'll get more to that battle in the next chapter. Perhaps some dialogue between the pair, and the lead up to the battle, or maybe the aftermath after Bardock had won. This being the catalyst that leads to Gas's weakness being revealed. And of course, this being Bardock, an excuse to wheel him out again. And probably wise to remember here, the fact that he has a tail, Toyotaro, because she forgot to draw it last time. I didn't realise that in my main review actually, and oh boy, that was a big snafu. But yeah, Bardock flashbacks will definitely get eyes on the manga for a little bit, but it's best not to overuse them though. Number 5. Oatmeel will provide Granolah a clue about Gas. You remember that cute little reunion that Oatmeel and Granolah had a few chapters ago? When the latter realised that he had been a massive jerk toward his seemingly only friend that isn't an elderly slug man? Yeah, that was nice. Well, that's got to count for something in this battle. It has done so a little bit up to this point, with Oatmeel providing some more early warnings about Gas's attacks, but I feel like it could lead to something bigger. I think, in the background, Oatmeel has been analysing Gas and his progression, calculating the Heeters' development and fighting style and techniques. He's been showing them off quite frequently to boot, allowing for plenty of data input whilst the battle has been raging. In the end, Oatmeel will be the one to inform Granolah of the thing that could bring Gas down, despite the gap in power clearly on display. Either this will be hidden from us until after the fact, or it'll be delivered to us and us waiting for the chance that the bounty hunter can use that and strike. In any case, this would be the best way to fully solidify their teamwork, to show Gas that working together as a unit, despite being the weaker of the two combined, is mighty in the end. That's not what Gas has had up until now. He has been the sole grunt in the Heeters' main roster. Sure, they have mercenaries and the like to aid them with physical persuasion or the regular, obviously, grunt work, but Gas was their big daddy in that wheelhouse. He didn't have anyone else backing him up. But with backup for Granolah, even the weaker of the two forces can potentially prosper. Alright, here are my predictions for this month's chapter. Let me know what yours are in the comments, and check back next week to see whether I or you got our guesses right. As I said at the start, it's okay for us to get things wrong with this kind of stuff. You don't want to predict every single thing, because otherwise, why bother reading the manga? In fact, if you're a little behind on reading the manga, you can check out my reviews here to quickly catch up, and I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!